All right, welcome back. I'm revisiting an 044 build, or yeah, MS440 044 build that I did. Originally, I used a Meteor piston. This thing would run good. For the life of me, I couldn't figure it out, and I checked everything, vacuum and all that stuff. Everything was going good. Changed 3 different carbs. Tried the carbs on other saws, 044s. They work perfectly. But anyways, the cylinder that I did, this is earlier in my porting expedition, um, would start up, run good. Halfway through a cut, it would just start dying out, like it was running out of fuel. Um, and then I could get it to fire back up, and it sounded good, but as soon as I put a load on it and get it in there, it seemed to be running out of fuel. It's the strangest thing. Um, Anyways, let's go look back in here. So as you can see, I kind of was dumb, if you can kind of see inside there. And so what I did to this Meteor, it had a very small, I believe it was a D-shaped combustion chamber. It did, if I knew better, I would have left it, because that would have been a high compression cylinder, right? And so this one would have probably worked really good if I just left it alone. There's one of these things where you can, I probably overport something, right? So anyways, I did do this to the intake. I didn't change the numbers drastically on this. This is where finding out and learning my skills. I ended up with, I don't remember where I started in the beginning. I think it was a little bit closer to 100 on this. But as you can kind of see, the numbers on this one, my final numbers was this. I didn't give it a whole lot of intake. Partially some of this driving of running the exhaust to 96 was try to get the blow down a little bit better, because it was like 16 to 18, if I remember correctly, where I, but it seemed like it was short. Of course, now that I know a little bit more, which isn't much, I can see some of the follies that I did. I should have just ran it mostly with just opening up the lower transfers, and you can kind of see what my work was. And I had good mix, and it was oily inside, but the intake side had some marks on it. The piston doesn't show any marks, but the cylinder shows marks, and you really don't feel it, which is real weird. The exhaust kind of has some marks, but maybe they're just break-in marks from the rings. It's crazy, right? So didn't do anything except for the intake. Roughened it up, really. Basically was all it was. Didn't really do much changing. It looks like I might have widened. Yeah, not even really that much. The biggest thing was getting in there and screwing up that combustion chamber. So another fail. I did okay on smoothing this out, the exhaust. Looking at it, it doesn't look like I was drastic with it, so the numbers weren't that far off being decent with that. Now, what I'm gonna do, this is 50 millimeter, right? And so this one's a highway. Here's the box. There it is, highway. That's what it is. So as far as fit and finish, the quite a few I've been comparing recently, and I truthfully, I like the highway fit and finish better. So this is what we're going with. My numbers without a base gasket are sitting exhaust 103.5. Transfers were a little off. Left side is 116, 118 on the right side. Intake is 73, and of course the ring gaps are sitting good. So squish rate is at 22, right? So that's looking good, is 22. So what we're looking at, and this is what I kind of do, I put the piston on, I kind of get in there during my timing numbers, and I make marks where everything's at. If I was just to modify the piston alone, That's why that mark is there, to bring it to 78 on the intake side. So I will change the intake and open it a little sooner, closer to a 77, 78 mark, I think, on this one. Piston, nice. And then the exhaust. I'm not going to do everything with just the piston, with just taking the intake. The exhaust side, the skirt is rather down, so I couldn't really lower it too much more. I got a little bit of room to work with, but I'm not going to machine this because I don't have machine work. But I'm not going to put in like Stihls are easy right now with these, because you can put it on a flat surface with sandpaper and at least take a, you know, some off of there. Combustion chamber is nice. You look in there, nice size combustion chamber is what it's looking at. That's the stock look to it, and you can kind of see the stock side. I make my numbers with the piston. That's what the line, vertical lines going up, is with the piston. You can kind of see the lines across. I put the ring in there. I put the timing numbers to where there's the exhaust over on this side is your exhaust, and that goes over there, and so that's right at the top, and so that's what blow down, or that's what it looks like right there, between the exhaust open and the transfers open. So I'm going to do some upper work to the transfers to even them out, to both fire at the same time, so they're even. And then, as it looks like, I've already done roughly this side, the lowers, so you can kind of see what I've done a little bit is just get in there just a little bit. There's roughly a little bump in there you can kind of see on the sides. Not a whole lot. Thin it out just a little bit of basically reshaping, widening it just a little bit to get the charge in there and so forth. So that's what we're looking at as far as this 044 highway cylinder that I'm using. Like I said, I like the finish of these highways, just the regular ones, not the Titan nickel sill, Titanic, whatever you want to call them. And then on the intake, I'm going to go a little bit wider. I got my lines. I'm not going to go as wide as that is, but I'm going to do that. The floor now, down in the very bottom, it's higher in the center. It cracks further on either side. So I'm going to even that bottom out to where there's an even flow and crack along there. So you can kind of get in there and see where my mark going across there is even. So I got a little bit to do, taken out of the center to reshape that a little bit. Again, not going to do too much, maybe widen it just a shade, but maybe up in the top, up here in the corners, is where take that little bump out there that it's in there, and kind of that's about it. So really actually light cylinder work is what port work that I'm going to be doing on this this cylinder. I'm looking at my final numbers to be exhaust around 100. Not going drastic on this one to see how it works. 100, that should give me, instead of 13 degrees of blowdown, I should increase it to 16 degrees blowdown. Intake about 77, 78. So that's kind of what we're looking at on this one. So, and just to show you, I have done some work in the case work before I put this case together. As you know, these things are rather stingy, and I got a little nervous on this one because there's a bolt on the top that comes through from the pump, and so I put some weld to smooth it out, JB metal weld to smooth it out. That's holding up well. Let's see if I can get you what it looks like, maybe flow wise. So yeah, kind of see what I did before I put this together. So that's kind of flowing the case a little bit, and everything else is pretty good. So hopefully by doing those couple steps, this thing should be pretty good. Have a good day.